It's like Match.com, but with like a person and a therapist. Hey everyone, it's Olivia and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Olivia, I'm 25 and I was recently diagnosed with autism as an adult. And here at my channel, I try to make videos bringing awareness to females on the spectrum. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about autism and mental health and how the two kind of coexist, my experiences with it, and then I'm going to be talking about kind of like a controversial topic, which is going to see a therapist. Two things before I jump into the video. One, I'm obviously not a doctor or licensed or trained or anything like that, so I'm just going to be sharing my opinion and my experiences on mental health. And then two, I'm sorry for my look. This is how I usually look. I got a baseball cap on, my hair up, sweat, shirt on, but I was just too lazy to get dolled up, so this is what you got this week. Okay, jumping into the video. First and foremost, autism is not a mental health disorder. It is a developmental disorder. So what's the difference between the two? A mental health disorder is something that you can get at any age of life, and it usually deals with your behavior and your mood. This is something that can be treated with therapy or medication, or often a combination of both, and thus can potentially be cured at some point. A developmental disorder, on the other hand, is something that you are born with, which means it is lifelong and cannot be cured, and they usually deal with your cognitive abilities. So basically how you think, how your brain works, how you process and understand information. So more often than not, autism and mental health disorders are comorbid, meaning they occur together. So oftentimes if you're autistic, you also have other mental health issues, and autistic people are actually way more likely to have mental health issues than a neurotypical person. Anxiety, depression, and ADHD are, classic examples of mental health issues, and they're actually the most common types among the autistic community. Now, what do the two go together? Well, in my research, I kind of found out that doctors and researchers don't exactly know why the two coexist oftentimes. So I'm just going to give you the Olivia opinion on it. So I think that because when you're autistic, you have to work extra hard at just being a human and living your life, that can cause us to, be anxious over things and depressed over things and just make us mentally exhausted. For example, if you have to work so hard at fitting in and, understanding social situations like sarcasm or when to talk, when not to talk, if it doesn't come naturally to you and you have to really work really hard at it, that's gonna make you anxious, whether you're autistic or not. If you have to do something that's challenging for you and unnatural and something that you're afraid of, like me, I'm afraid of going to a big party, that's gonna make you anxious. And then if we work really, really hard at something as autistic people and then still fail, which is often the case in many things, such as maintaining or getting a new friend, keeping a job. Oftentimes when we work really hard to do those things and give it our all and still fail, that can lead to depression. Now, I know I've said this in so many of my other videos, but females are so often misdiagnosed with mental health disorders instead of autism. And again, it's not that we don't have the mental health disorders, it's just that it's under the umbrella, I like to say, of autism. And so, we'll go to a doctor because we're feeling anxious or depressed, and they'll diagnose us with anxiety and depression and try to treat that, but it's usually unsuccessful because we don't know the root cause of what's causing our anxiety and depression, and that's autism. So until you figure that out, there's, you're just kind of like going in circles. So oftentimes once somebody, especially an adult, is finally diagnosed with ASD, their mental health conditions can actually decrease or go away entirely because we finally understand what was causing them. So now I want to talk about therapy. This scary part of the video is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's such a taboo topic, and so many people don't like therapy or are embarrassed to try to go to therapy, and I'm just gonna try to change that today. So I love therapy. I don't know what there's not to like. You get to go to somebody, they have to listen to you, you can just vent all you want, and they literally cannot judge you. I mean, I don't understand what's not fantastic about it. I have personally gone to therapy for over a decade. I started going when I was just 13 because that's when I really got depressed and anxious. Now, I was going to weekly therapy up in Los Angeles up until COVID happened. And then obviously everything shut down. I moved back home, and so I could no longer go see a therapist. And that is when I found BetterHelp. And I really wanted to share this with you guys because I think it is an amazing tool, especially for me as an autistic person. So I think you might also agree. So what BetterHelp is a 100% online therapy service. And why I think this is so cool for autistic people is because oftentimes we hate driving or have difficulty driving or can't drive. And so this allows you to get the help you need without having to drive into an office. Now, when you sign up on BetterHelp, you fill out a quick questionnaire and it actually matches you to a therapist that they think will help you best. So it like fits your needs and your wants and stuff like that, which I think is amazing because without that, and you're just trying to find a regular therapist, you literally have to guess. You're like just looking and trying to guess whether they'll be a fit for you or not. So it can actually take a while to find a good therapist. The even better part about this, which is again is so perfect for autistic people, is that you can communicate with your therapist any way you want to. So that means if you don't want to talk on the phone or go on video chat, you can literally message them and text them. Isn't that amazing? I personally, and I think a lot of other people on the spectrum too, hate talking on the phone. Like I will do anything to avoid a phone call. And so my therapist up in Los Angeles was like, well, we could do like phone calls. And I was like, they just give me anxiety. I really don't know why. And I never understood until I found out I was autistic. And then I was like, oh, that's why. On this website, you can message your therapist, which is amazing because if I can text and not call, I will do that 100,000 times over again. You can also, of course, call or video chat, but you don't have to. And you can use your phone, tablet, computer. When you sign up, you have a weekly fee. And in that weekly fee, you get up to 4 video sessions. But then the best part is you get unlimited messaging of your therapist. So you can text them anytime, any day, and they will respond to you. And this is great for me because oftentimes I would like have little things that I wanted to ask my therapist, but I'd have to like wait until my next appointment. And then I'd often forget because I have a bad memory and like totally forget what I wanted to ask. But so with BetterHelp, if I have a question or like I had a bad day and just like need a little something, I can just shoot a quick text to my therapist and not have to wait, like, because oftentimes like I would have a bad day on Thursday and my therapy sessions are on Wednesday. And so then I have to wait the entire week to go talk to my therapist about it. And by then I was like over it or couldn't even remember. And like I mentioned, obviously a lot of people, you know, are afraid or embarrassed to seek help. But with BetterHelp, literally nobody has to know because you can be all done from your phone, but you can also stay anonymous. So literally your own therapist doesn't need to know your name if you don't want them to. Now, in my opinion, nothing can replace the help of a true trained professional. So no amount of talking to your family, your friends, your significant other, no amount of, you know, research you do, books you read, podcasts you listen to, YouTube videos you watch can replace a professional's help, in my opinion. All of the counselors there are trained and experienced and have either a master's or doctorate, so you know you're getting good help. They're not just like Joe Schmoes on the internet like me trying to give you advice. I always recommend giving at least like 2 sessions to a therapist before like judging them, because the first session is usually just full of like questions and the therapist trying to get to know you because they can't help you if they don't know you. I just want to emphasize again that asking for help and admitting that you need help is not a sign of weakness. To admit and, you know, acknowledge that you need help is actually a strength, and it makes you very brave. And going to help can make you a stronger person. So it's totally the opposite of being weak, asking for help. And I just want to try to, you know, destigmatize that. Just having somebody there that you know, that is there for you and will listen to your vent is just comforting, because you know, if you have a bad day, there's somebody there waiting to listen to your problems and actually care about your problems. So my personal mental health issues are anxiety, depression, and PTSD. I think that's it. I do have some ADHD traits, but I was not diagnosed with it. ADHD and autism, the symptoms very much overlap. But I've dealt with anxiety all my life. Like my mom's like, you came out the womb anxious, and I've dealt with depression like since I like was, you know, a young teen, and I've had some bad experiences which has led me to have PTSD. But again, there's nothing bad about that, and I love sharing my story and telling people like, yeah, I have all these freaking issues. I'm not embarrassed at all, which is an autistic thing. We overshare. But if you're dealing with these things or any of the other, I think like 200 plus mental disorders that you can be diagnosed with, there's nothing wrong with it. It does not make you a worse person, doesn't make you less of a person. It just means that, you know, your brain needs a little help, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Since getting diagnosed with ASD, like I mentioned, my anxiety and depression have actually gotten better because I can now finally know how my brain works. That's why getting an ASD diagnosis was so important to me, because I my whole life had searched for answers of why I was the way I was, and like why was I always so anxious and depressed, and well, it was because I was ASD and I just had no clue. So yes, getting diagnosed has absolutely improved my mental health. Obviously, I have ups and downs, and I have good days and I have bad days, but with, you know, the knowledge that I know of how my brain works and the help of a therapist and of course my family and friends, I can usually have pretty good days. That is it for this week's video of Autistically Me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching another video. God bless, have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon.